let's talk about something that's quietly protecting you online pretty much every single day. It's called SSH, and it acts like a personal digital bodyguard for your data. You probably don't even see it working, but trust me, it's one of the most important things keeping the internet from falling into total chaos. So, let's dive in and figure out what it is and why it's so incredibly important.
Okay, quick question for you. Would you ever write down, say, your bank account password on the back of a postcard and just drop it in the mail? I mean, anybody and everybody who touches that postcard could read it. Sounds absolutely insane, right?
Well, believe it or not, that's pretty much exactly how the early internet used to work. All kinds of information was just sent out in the open, completely readable to anyone who knew where to look. It was a system built on trust, and as you can probably guess, that didn't work out for very long.
To really get why SSH is such a big deal, we need to take a step back in time. We need to see the world it was born into, a kind of digital Wild West, where keeping a secret was next to impossible.
Just look at how insecure things were. Back in 1969, we had a tool called Telnet. Then in '83, a couple more called RLogin and RSH came along. And they all shared the same gigantic, fatal flaw. Nothing was encrypted. Your username, your password, everything was sent in plain text. It was literally the same as shouting your login details across a crowded coffee shop. But then, in 1995, the game completely changed. So we had this massive security problem on our hands, and the solution that finally showed up was called the Secure Shell, or, as we all know it, SSH. This is the hero of our story.
So what is it really? At its heart, SSH is a protocol, just a set of rules that creates a secure, private, armored tunnel for your data to travel through over an insecure network. You know, like the internet. It's the bodyguard we desperately needed.
But think about it. A bodyguard can't do their job if they can't get from point A to point B reliably. You can't protect a conversation if little pieces of it get lost along the way. So, to build its secure tunnel, SSH needed to pick a super solid and reliable foundation to build on top of.
In the networking world, you've basically got two kinds of delivery services. First, there's TCP. Think of TCP as a high-end, reliable courier. It calls ahead, makes sure you're home, delivers the package, gets a signature, and guarantees every single piece arrives in the right order. Then you have UDP. That's more like dropping a letter in a mailbox. It's fast, but it just sends stuff out and kind of hopes for the best. No guarantees.
So if you're sending sensitive data or secret commands, which one are you going to choose? The reliable courier. Of course, it's a no-brainer. SSH builds its foundation on TCP because when it comes to security, there is absolutely no room for best effort. You need to know that the whole message gets there, perfectly intact.
Okay, so our bodyguard SSH uses a reliable courier, TCP. But what tools does it actually have in its toolkit? How does it do the protecting? Let's pop the hood and take a look inside.
It really all comes down to three incredibly strong pillars. First, there's encryption. That's the secret code. Then you have authentication. Think of it as a strict ID check. And finally, integrity, the tamper-proof seal. These three things working together create an ironclad defense for your data.
First up, encryption. This is where SSH takes your data and just scrambles it into complete gibberish, a secret code. So even if a bad guy intercepts your postcard, all they're going to see is nonsense. Only you and the person you're talking to have the secret key to unscramble it and turn it back into something readable.
Next up, authentication. And this is really important. It's not just about you proving who you are to the server. The server also has to prove who it is to you. This stops attackers from setting up a fake server to trick you. It's like a bouncer at a club who checks the ID of everyone going in and also makes sure the club itself is legit.
And the final piece of the puzzle is integrity. This is the guarantee that the message you receive is the exact same one that was sent, with no changes along the way. It's basically a digital version of a wax seal on an old-fashioned letter. If anyone messes with it, that seal is broken, and you know instantly that something is wrong.
So, these three pillars make SSH sound pretty amazing in theory, but where does this digital bodyguard actually pop up in the real world? Let's look at where you'd actually use it.
Its number one job, by far, is letting people like system administrators and developers securely log into and control computers from anywhere on the planet. I mean, the entire modern cloud, remote work, so much of it is built on the back of SSH. And it's not just about remote control. It's also about moving your files around safely. Tools like SCP, or Secure Copy, and SFTP,
the SSH file transfer protocol. Use that very same armored tunnel to make sure your files are protected from snoops while they're in transit.
Now this is where it gets really clever. You can actually take other, less secure internet traffic and wrap it inside an SSH connection. This is called tunneling. It's like creating your own personal encrypted highway through an untrusted network, like the Wi-Fi at a coffee shop.
And if you thought that was cool, it gets even better. With a feature called X11 forwarding, you can run a program with a full graphical interface on some super powerful server far away, but have the window for that app appear right on your own desktop. It's like remote control for individual applications. Pretty mind-blowing, right?
So when you boil it all down, it all comes back to this one powerful idea. SSH is the tool that lets us do really important, sensitive work over the huge, chaotic, and often insecure internet, and lets us do it with total confidence. It creates a small, safe bubble of security in the middle of all that chaos. And that kind of leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. When you think about cloud computing, online shopping, remote work, pretty much our entire digital life, so much of it depends on secure connections. So just imagine for a second, how much of that would even be possible without this invisible bodyguard working 24/7 in the background?